We're about 3/4 of the way through the art phase of CTF Outside. We've already laid the foundation. The map pretty much is what it is. It has its own style. And now we're just kind of adding details and taking them off depending on what's needed. So looking at the concept, we first start to try and break out what we're going to make. What is this level going to be made out of? A big portion of this map was going to be rocks and terrain. And so I just got into ZBrush and start, busting out rocks. And what you're seeing is probably like the 6th or 7th rock attempt here. So it wasn't like I just sat down on day one and was like, oh, I'm going to make this awesome rock and it's just going to work. This is probably like, after 8 throwaways or something, I had like 1 rock. Adam's concepts were maybe a little brighter, and he actually had a lot of green in a lot of his concepts, which we really liked. But what we found early on in the process was as we were making these rocks, we would add the moss to these rocks, and it would just take something away from them. You really wouldn't see these hacked and shaved bits. And they catch the light really well, so they work really well for us. So somewhere in the process, these were white, a little closer to what you're seeing in the concept.
So this is kind of more in line with Gooba's initial concept. It's more of the white shaved rock, which, we liked for a while, but there was definitely something missing. And so Rick one day sent a screenshot of the castle from Gundabad from the third Hobbit movie, and that reminded me of this rock. It's really sharp and angular, so I played around with making the new material for it. So we switched this out, and it gave us that kind of Gundabad look, the rusty, oxidized rock. So it's definitely a different look. This shader kind of lends itself more to all the detail that Rick sculpted in, and it kind of set the tone for the new direction that we were going for the map, and everything just kind of snowballed.
This is kind of where we're at right now. It's not final. Nothing here is final. We're adding detail, we're taking detail off. So at some point, we're going to hit the right balance between too much detail, not enough detail, and just right. This is the red side, and the sun hits the rocks kind of just right over here and kind of really just kind of plays into that kind of shaved rock look. With this side of the castle, the red side, we just kind of wanted it to have a little more of a sinister feel. I call it like kind of an orc style, really. There's not a lot of refinement to what they're doing here. And maybe on the blue side, which is supposed to appear to be a little more of a refined kind of castle, a little more light and just classic castle style. This side is not near as done, so you're just kind of looking at the bare bones here. The statues over here kind of play into that kind of feel a little bit. I really like how these feel sort of arrogant. They've just kind of got an air or an attitude about them, and they're placed up high. They feel like they're sort of looking down on the red side statues, which just appear more subjugated. There's a constant struggle going on between these two sides, and we were trying to portray that some way in the map without beating you over the head with it. I like the look at this. I like the colors, but it's probably a little too visually noisy for what the players are going to want. They're really going to want to be able to see each other and recognize each other really quick. So my method usually is to kind of add stuff and just where I think it looks good and where it should be, and then just go in and back off until it's right.